Amazing E3 2012 Watch Dogs effects shipped with the game but were disabled. Let me know where you stand, but first, my opinion. I'm Tarmack and this is Feature Creep. This may seem a bit late given that the news dropped a week ago, but I wanted to give Ubisoft a chance to say something about the issue. Unfortunately, from an official standpoint, that hasn't happened, and it seems to me that they've had long enough and are just playing the PR waiting game to see if the controversy dies down. Watch Dogs had an amazing showing at E3 2012. Ubisoft showed off great lighting, water, steam, and other effects in their demo to get gamers excited, and gamers were certainly excited by what they saw. Fast forward to the Watch Dogs release, and we were presented with a good-looking game, but nowhere near as good-looking as it had been in the E3 demo. This caused the internet to explode slightly, and accusations of pre-rendered, doctored footage were heard all over. Now, a Guru 3D user named The Worse has discovered that all of those effects were still in the game assets. Not only are they in the game, but The Worse has been able to enable them through some clever scripting changes which you can download. There are some minor issues relating to the depth of field, but that's just due to how high a level we're set it at. Even more so than that, the mod also fixes some stuttering and performance issues which lets PC gamers get basically the same performance, and in some cases slightly better even with the effects turned on. So now, Ubisoft is facing accusations of actively damaging the PC version in order to maintain console parity, or the illusion that the Gen 4 consoles actually contain powerful hardware. I'm going to be somewhat careful here. I have no desire to accuse Ubisoft of fraud or any such nonsense. It is, however, clear that the effects were turned off deliberately. It's also clear that they were in a mostly functional or entirely functional state. Yes, there are some issues, but by and large, these graphical improvements are a huge step forward for the PC audience. Ubisoft hasn't issued a public statement about this. They did, though, have a bit of a PR blunder when their PR and events manager Tessa Valin stated that the game was not downgraded. I have an issue with people who maintain an official capacity of some kind, comment on issues relating to that official capacity, yet hide behind the Twitter wall of nonsense by listing all opinions as their own and not representative of their company. This is what Tessa did. Unfortunately for those people who yet retain the gift of sight, what she said about the game not being downgraded is not only false, it's a plain lie. If you compare these effects which are in the game resources to the E3 footage, you can get pretty darn close to a similar aesthetic which cannot be achieved through just the base retail game itself. That's a deliberate downgrade. The only question is why. I do have my suspicions. Personally, I think that it was a choice made by upper management. Surely if these effects were working in 2012, they would be nice and polished 2 years later when the game gets released. Anything else would be to admit complete developmental incompetence. Watch Dogs was intended to be a Sony PS4 showpiece. It had exclusive Sony DLC, had a special PS4 bundle, maintains a higher resolution on the PS4 than Xbox One, and the Watch Dogs movie is to be done through Sony Pictures. This makes the relationship between the two companies a very close one, and both stand to benefit a great deal as a result. I do think it's extremely unlikely that Sony asked for it, rather that internal upper management within Ubisoft didn't want their platform of choice to be completely and utterly outclassed by the PC experience. Future deals between Ubisoft and Sony depend on the Watch Dogs PS4 side doing very well, and if the PC version looked like the E3 demo instead, fewer people would have bought it on PS4. You don't need a formal conspiracy for like interests to move in a common direction. The unfortunate thing about all of this is the continued damage Ubisoft decisions do to their reputation on the PC platform. They only fairly recently got rid of the always-on DRM, and now we have intentional downgrades to the PC version of a game. It's worth noting that the game was only out for a few weeks by the time The Worse had put up this mod pack. It's also worth noting that the mod is only a 40 kilobyte download, meaning that all he's doing is adjusting settings to turn on otherwise complete resources in the game, unlike some of the major graphic overhaul mods for games like Skyrim, which are often gigabytes in size. I'm getting tired of the console nonsense, to be honest. PC gaming was held back by the previous generation of consoles that weren't powerful enough to give even a close analog to the experience of what a PC could dish out. And now we're finding that even the new gen consoles seem to be doing the same in only a year on the market. Consoles have their place, but this false posturing has got to stop. What do you think happened in the backroom meetings at Ubisoft? Let me know in the comments below. That's all I have to say. Tarmack out.